children, Steph or KD, who's more important to that team?
What other question is Steph? I mean, KD went down last year for a number of games. What, 10, 15 games? The Warriors were what, 15-0? When Steph is out the game, they're barely over 500, and that's over the course of his career in Golden State. So clearly it's Steph. Steph was there before KD came. They won 73 games because of the motor Steph brought. So we're talking about the importance. Is Steph, the guy who gets him over the top is KD.
I was just going back to the point. So KD's not only not the best player in the game anymore, that's LeBron. Now he's not even the best player on his team.
We said most important.
Most important.
Okay,
Most
got it.
Please go
That's
ahead.
fair. That's
Most
fair.
important. You see the line? Look right there.
I
It
can't
says
read.
most
That
important
font
is
very
more
important.
important to the
Paul
Warriors.
Pierce, I don't do this very often.
But you agree with it.
You're agreeing with me now. I feel
Paul
it.
Pierce, I agree with you.
I'm feeling it.
I agree
I'm
with you.
feeling it.
I think KD's the better player, but for this team,
The most
for their system, the Warriors, Steph Curry is the most important player out of the two guys.
Out of those two.
It is his system. I mean, they all feed off of him. And I mean everybody, even KD gets easier shots because of him.
Yeah.
So I would have to
Listen, you don't know basketball if you say somebody other than Steph is the most important. But the question is, and I know he's already won a championship without KD, but that was with a roster that wasn't fully complete. Can he win a championship? Can they win a championship without the other? That should be the question.
Without KD?
Can Steph win a championship without KD?
Moving
and can
forward?
KD win a
Steph
championship?
already did that.
Yes, but that was with a depleted Cavaliers roster.
Okay.
And we seen what happened when the Cavaliers was full.
You mean all things being fair and equal?
All things being
Like
fair and
right
equal.
now,
like
if
right
they
now.
played against Cleveland or
Right.
even San Antonio or
Can they win a championship without the other?
But it's hard to say because you don't know who's going to fill those salary spots.
Listen.
But here's the kind of answer to the question. It's a pecking order in the league. People go to Cleveland to run with LeBron. PG and Melo went to OKC to run with Russell. CP3 left LA to run with
I
James.
see where you're going.
KD left OKC to run with Steph, the unanimous MVP, to your point, that had already won the championship.
But during the finals, I feel like I asked the same question, and everyone says KD because he just happens to be so clutch. And
Well, I mean,
the
he's the
entire
best
time
player.
we were-
He's the best player on the
best
team.
player. He's 7 foot.
He is?
But the one thing, too,
Get
about
out.
this, when we talk about more important out of these two, of course, Steph. But the most important player is Draymond Green
Well, there you go.
on the team. If we're just talking about them two, Steph, but on that team, Draymond is the most important.
He ain't playing tonight. Coming up, we
Sagging
have to
our
dig
pride.
into this. Why is there an ejection explosion that's affecting stars of this league, particularly the defending champs?
You better watch that.
Oh, I made that sure I said it right.
Don't get fired, G.
Of the ejection in the NBA since last Tuesday, 4 All-Stars.
Hold me back.
LeBron got tossed for the first time in his career. Chris Connolly explains the long history of how stars are officiated.
It's a moment enshrined in NBA history. Referee Joey Crawford with a "Do I Amuse You" heave-ho in 2007 of the Spurs' Tim Duncan for laughing?
He swung. Out of the game. Maybe Crawford felt he was showing him up by constantly laughing.
That NBA superstars tend to get the call. 2 second-quarter texts. 2 days after that, it was Kevin Durant's turn to get tossed for what was then just the second time in his 11-season career, booted near the end of the Warriors' win against the Magic by official Eric Lewis.
Durant's been ejected from the game. Really? He got a 1 technical ejection.
I guess I tried to show him up and he didn't like it, so he threw me out.
In one unprecedented week, 3 superstars thrown out of games. Few could better understand the fire in these top players than AI.
You look at those guys, and I love those guys that's been thrown out. But obviously, you can see the passion that they have to where it's, they give a damn.
It was an unwritten rule that the players knew and the officials knew that when certain words were used and personalized, then they were going to be ejected.
Many have taken it for granted that in the NBA, superstars get the calls, which is why they can get mad when they don't.
I think it's one of the myths of officiating that the star players get superstar calls. The referees don't sit there and say, well, this guy is a star or a superstar, and I'm going to give him the call this time. What happens a lot of times is that the superstar handles the ball 70, 80% of the time. If there's a missed call, they'll probably most likely be on him. No doubt about it.
Stats show that the talent-rich Warriors lead the league in player ejections this season, but have not committed a flagrant foul.
The refs run the game, so if they're not feeling good today, they could just make any decision they want. So I got to know that they got all the power. I got to just shut up and take it.
Or not, because on Monday night, Durant was again tossed from a game.
Uh-oh. Kevin has got to let go of this.
The ejection streak, unfortunately, continues.
That means that right now, among the NBA elite, nobody's left.
Okay, so I'm going to start with you, T-Mac. How does this work? You know who's officiating your game that night. How do you go about it? How do you manage the officials?
Well, a lot of these guys, especially in our era, they had tricks that they do, especially for good offensive players that they like to do. I'll take you